see what they say. Footage of Chris Watts in prison, photos from him being attacked recently. We'll see. How do you play it? Oops. This is footage of him when he was being booked. Tea and True Crime with Bella. Come on, girl. Actually, where's the mute button? I'm going to have to go in and cut out the music. This is ParaWomen Radio. We're over on TikTok watching videos of Chris Watts supposedly being attacked, but I suspect that this is not Chris Watts in this cell. What are you guys thinking? True Crime with Bella puts a lot of lies out there. I unfollowed and blocked her. Okay. Thanks for the update. So I don't think that was Chris Watts. Let's see what else we have. I wish people had a little more integrity on this app. Amen, Brooke. Let's see what Brooke is saying. Sensitive content. Oh, okay. She's talking about this.
Believe everything you see on TikTok.
Anyone seen this?
You can post facts, you can post even your opinion, but don't post lies. This just gives all of us true crimers a bad name, and I really don't like it. This creator also uploaded a video earlier today and then took it down when she was called out for it, but it was supposedly footage from Chris Watts in prison, but the date in the top left-hand corner, which I guess she forgot to cut out, was August 2017.
Oh.
And if you know anything about the Chris Watts case, it happened in 2018. Don't believe everything you see on TikTok.
Thank you, Brooke, on TikTok. I'm going to follow her. I wish the music wasn't there. I'm going to have to go in and mute that out. Convicted unaliver Chris Watts was written up. I think we watched that. But
y'all remember Chris Watts, that piece of shit who got 5 life sentences for killing his own family? Apparently he got written up and it's sus. Hella sus. Chris Watts disciplined after his underwear and lube were found in another man's cell. Hold up. What? So apparently Watts is on a PC unit with this dude, Dylan Talman, and they just sort of developed a relationship. So first understand that in some prisons, they put little labels on all of your pieces of clothing and they can track your canteen items. They did a cell search on Talman's cell and they found Watts' underwear and his thing of Vaseline. This is a picture of Dylan Talman. This is a picture of Chris Watts. Do you think one was the top and the other was the bottom, or do you think they were just taking turns on each other? Either way, the prison decided that they were going to break these two lovers up, and they sent Talman to another institution, so now Chris is a little lonely. Now, if you remember correctly, Watts was transferred from Colorado, where he should have been doing his prison time, to a PC camp in Wisconsin, so they could try to keep him safe. But here's the thing, there's no safe spaces in prison, and y'all really need to step up your game, Wisconsin. Why is this dude still breathing? Y'all remember Chris Watts, that piece of shit who got 5 life sentences?
Why is this dude still breathing? I always wondered why we never got any videos from the prison, but apparently they don't record the videos and release them, and that's why. Let's see what you guys are saying over in chat. I'm just grateful for the OGs too. I'm really trying to build a community that's strong and powerful. knowledgeable, but also spreads kindness, because that's important to me. This is the last video we're going to watch. Chris Watts case, latest update from Ronnie and Cindy Watts in Wisconsin. They went and this would be September 21st of 2022. We'll watch a little bit of it. They went and visited, I think this is the one where they talk about Ronnie threw the paper plate in front of them and said, how could you have put the girls through something that small? I think it might be that one.
And said, I have a place in his heart. And I'm thinking, he wants to do right by them. He wants to, and even said, God's prayers were answered. You know, that Frank called and said, I have a place in his heart. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Frankie's in the dark. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he's in the dark about it all, and he's the one that's actually being used by Sandy, you know, to be the voice of the family, because he's more believable.
Yeah, because I know there's no way Sandy will get on the phone with him.
I just want to say that we support the Rusaks on this channel, and these are some of the things I don't agree with. The Rusaks are victims. They're victims.
Say that. Ain't no way in hell Sandy will get on the phone with him.
No,
Never. Not a chance in the
world. Well, then, like I told Chris, I said, the only thing Dave is doing, he's not blowing up the Rusaks about this, that, or the other. I said, he's just looking for answers, Chris. I said, the name of his channel is Speaking the Truth with Dave.
Yep. Ronnie defended you.
I defended you.
I know it's more of a Z, Rusaks, but I always try to put the checks in there. Rusaks. I always say that, but I know it's Rusaks, but I always say it wrong.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell you.
And I said that.
Yes,
Ronnie brought up tonight, and Chris said, he said,
definitely.
well, I knew this was going to happen. He said, but I thought you'd wait till Wednesday or Thursday. He said, I didn't know you were going to bring everything up tonight. And we did. We brought everything to him. Everything.
Really?
Everything. And he's... The what? Oh, you tell him that. Oh my God, Ronnie was dramatic.
Well, I wasn't dramatic.
You were dramatic.
I'm pretty proud of himself for doing that.
He was saying that he just got finished eating, and I got a paper plate, because once he sits down, he can't get up. He can't look at the food. He's not allowed to move once he sits down. And the food stuff was right behind us, and I got him the food. And he's eating the cheeseburger and stuff.
I mean, considering Ronnie, and he seems like he's a really kind of easygoing, doesn't really want to say too much to rock the boat. Like, I think it probably took a lot for Ronnie to do that, to throw the plate in front of Chris and say what he said.
I got another plate, and I just throw it down on the table in front of him. And I said, "You see that right there, Chris?" I put my hand across it like I did that plate at the house. I said, "That's an 8-inch plate." Pretty much. It might be maybe a little bit smaller, but it's pretty much an 8-inch plate. I said, you look at that.
So I feel like I see progress with the Watts. I see, in the beginning, I just total denial, I think, and I've just seen progress. And so that makes me feel good that there is progress.
And you tell me how them girls went down that. He just sat there and stared at it. I said, them girls did not go down through them hatches, Chris.
Like, I don't believe the measurement.
Well, you take somebody that's alive and kicking and squeezing and turning the body this way and trying to get arms and everything. Yes, that's possible, maybe. But I think that was over 8 inches in diameter, the way I looked at it. But, yeah, you cannot take a dead body, I mean to say it that way, and try to force it down through that without having marks all over them and cuts all over them and everything. And probably all kinds of wounds all over. There's no way, because if you look at the picture of the hatch, it's even got...
I do tend to agree with this. How, what's strange is I think Bella would be, because she seemed more petite. it would have like maybe her, but how in the world did he get Cece through there? I mean, I just don't know.
Part of the opening is not
not as wide. It's not as wide when you get those to go in.
That had part of the edge that was not cut out right. It was,
and this obviously right here is Chris Watts's newest letter or newest picture that we have out there of him. So he looks like he's a lot grayer on the sides, and looks like this is his receding hairline is getting worse.
There's less made it.
And
there's no way
Bella looked just like him, didn't she? My goodness.
And I said, let me answer
but
this.
I can see Cece in these two, so.
It's okay, so if they went through the side, well, you said that one tank had like 7 or 8 foot of, oil and stuff in it. I said, yeah, so that if they have to take off the sides, that means oil's going to come out of it. Somebody would have to clean that up.
Yeah,
Said,
one
what
of
about
them
the water
did
tank
have
that come out
scrape
there?
marks on them, and there was some hair.
I said, what about?
There was some hair in the hatch. The thing is that if he did it, he shoved them through. There wasn't any dropping them through. He crammed them through. And yeah. Because I can't see how he would have opened the bottom, because if you open the bottom, doesn't all the oil come out? Or maybe I'm wrong with that, but I don't know. I just can't even envision all of it. I just like in my mind's eye too, like what he told us, what he was willing to tell us, it's got to be 10 times worse. And I just envision him like marching little Bella up, because I don't see him wanting to make 2 trips up there. So I don't know. Ugh. I think Cece had some real brain damage and wasn't all there. And that's why he did her first. Just to, get her. Yeah. Anyway. Whew.
Troy coming out there again Tuesday just to look around. What about him saying that Chris might have buried evidence at 1029? He just was sitting there and looked at me. I said, Chris, there's a hell of a lot of shit you don't know.
And what Frank said, you got to stop telling, you've got to stop them from all your coworkers being talked about over the internet. You need to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, this is just for your ears now. We can't.
Yeah,
I know it's hard.
Are these all the people that they believe were involved in this? Is that why we're seeing that? Let's move forward. I will put the link to this so you can watch it all.
Looking around.
In the description.
And I said, what about Troy saying he thought you buried evidence at 1029? He said, I took a dump out there. I said, well, he said you might have buried evidence. That's what he told the FBI.
Who was it that took the poo out there? Was it Chris or was it Troy? They're saying Troy.
What about the water truck coming out there? So what about Troy coming back out there next day looking around? For what?
For what?
And I said, what about Troy saying he thought you buried evidence at 1029? He said, I took a dump out there. I said, well, he said
after people murder others, it's common that they'll go to the bathroom. They'll take a poo. Like, remember in the Amanda Knox, there was the poo in the leftover in the toilet, and I've read or heard other cases where there's just poop next to the dead body.
You might have buried evidence. That's what he told the FBI, or whoever it was.
And he just looked.
He looked like,
I don't think they did, Brooke.
I mean, he didn't know about any of that stuff.
But they must have, right? It seems like they would have, but I don't know.
No, none of it. Not one thing do we know about.
What I told him.
Do you remember a year ago? Remember a year ago, you guys spoke to him on the phone. I said, Troy, over a year ago, actually, Jesus, it was when we first started talking. I said, Troy threw him under the bus. Troy's a piece of shit. I need you to tell him that Troy's a piece of shit. So you pretty much told him, Ronnie. Dave says.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how they could, I wish I had a friend like Nicole. So that's all I have to say about that. Everybody should have a good friend like Nicole. Okay, you guys, I think that might be it for today's live. We did a little look-see around the internet to see what Chris Watt's life is like in prison. I'm working